Ever wondered how to test a transistor using a multimeter? It's simpler than one might think, and it can be broken down into a few easy-to-follow steps. First and foremost, identify the transistor type. Transistors come in two main types, NPN and PNP. This step is crucial because the testing process differs slightly for each type. Once the type of transistor is identified, take note of the three legs, which are the emitter, base, and collector. Each leg has a specific role in the transistor's operation. Now it's time to turn on the multimeter. Set it to the diode setting. This helps to measure the voltage drop across the transistor's junctions, which is a vital part of the testing process. Next, let's move on to the step of setting up the multimeter probes to the legs of the transistor. For testing a PNP transistor, establish a connection between the negative probe and the base of the transistor, and the positive probe should be connected to the stay observant of the multimeter reading. A negative reading is an indication of a smoothly operating PNP transistor. Subsequently, for the testing of an NPN transistor, make between the base and the positive probe, and the negative probe should be linked emitter. The multimeter should display a reading in the range of 0.6 to 0.7 volts for a properly functioning NPN transistor. After establishing these connections, keep a keen eye on the reading displayed on the multimeter. Next, we'll be testing an NPN transistor. To do this, connect the positive probe to the base and the negative probe to the emitter. Observe the multimeter. A reading between 0.6 to 0.7 volts indicates a normally functioning NPN transistor. Now let's switch things up. Connect the positive probe to the emitter and negative probe to the base and collector. Ideal readings should be 0 or near 0, indicating that the transistor is in good condition. Any reading that deviates from 0 could potentially indicate a faulty transistor. For additional confirmation of the transistor's performance, rearrange the probe's connections to legs. For the PNP transistor, couple the negative probe to the emitter and the positive probe to the base and collector. If the readings come out as 0 or near 0, this signals that the transistor is functioning properly. Subsequently, link the positive probe to the emitter and the negative probe to the base and collector for the NPN transistor. Any diverging from 0 marks the transistor as defective. So that's essentially it. To recap, testing a transistor involves identifying its type, knowing the roles of its legs, setting the multimeter to the diode setting, connecting the probes correctly, and interpreting the readings. Remember, for an NPN transistor, a normal reading is 0.6 to 0.7 volts, and for a PNP transistor, it's in the negative. 0 or near 0 readings when the probes are switched indicate a functional transistor. Testing a transistor is a handy skill for any electronics enthusiast. It helps diagnose problems, avoid unnecessary replacements, and keep electronic devices running smoothly. With these steps, one can easily test a transistor using a multimeter. So why not give it a try?